we've talked about this before, but I love this. I figured this out, and then you really put it into the words that made me go, oh, okay, I'm not the only one who thinks this way. And you put it so much more eloquently in the book, Finding Your Comic Genius, which is out now, and I love it, and I tell everybody about it. It's one of the best books I've ever read on, probably the best book I've ever read on stand-up comedy. But I figured out early on that all of my jokes did best when they felt uneven. When they felt like they ended on a syllable, like instead of 4 syllables, it was 5 syllables, or it was 3 syllables, or the phrasing, it was a long punchline, but then there was only the last 2 or 3 words had to be 3 syllables. And I figured it out, and I was thinking about it, like, why the jokes that I'm saying, they feel awkward. They feel a little loose. So they feel like they're not complete. And if I say a complete sentence, it doesn't get as big of a laugh as when I say one that's a little bit off kilter. And then in the book, you talk about the seesaw. You talk about how having jokes, you even brought up my name, because my name is 4 syllables, Rudy Pavich. It's not good.
That's 2 2's not
good. Yeah, 2 2 is not good.
Even king.
Yes, absolutely. You want 2 and 1, 1 and 2,
1 and 3.
1 and 3. Yeah. 2 and 2, not good.
My mum had a boss called John Stefanidi. But it goes Jonathan Stefanidis. It doesn't work. It's too gavelly. So yeah, seesaw, a punchline with a pause in the middle should inevitably have more syllables on one side than the other, unless there's a really, really nice group of sounds that override that.
Sure.
Or there's a misdirection in it that is so powerful a twist that's what they're laughing at. I can give an example. I could medicine for seesaw, but it didn't matter. I said, if you've got cats and you're sick of being covered in cat hair, get some sticky tape and wrap it around your cat, right? Now that's the reason is I can't, if there's a brand of sticky tape called Ariza sellotape, I can't change sellotape. I get some tape and wrap it, it's not enough because it's the stickiness of the tape, right?
You just set the picture. You need to paint that.
You need to paint that picture. So therefore, and you could say sellotape and wrap around your cat, but I don't speak like that. I would say get some sellotape. A friend of mine said, you could say sellotape, I wouldn't start a sentence with sellotape. I'd say get some sellotape.
Yeah.
So he chopped off some words. You can't just butcher a punchline. So the point is the misdirection allows that lack of seesaw to still be funny because it twists. But rhythmically, yeah. And this is, sadly, the thing I'll be remembered for when I die.
You think so?
Not being a good person, not all that because it's chapter 1 in the book. It's the thing that's been quoted the most back to.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But I also think it's probably one of the most helpful in the book too. Because it really makes people look at their jokes and really think about the syllables in them and how many words they're adding and how much they should be taking out. Even just because I cut a lot of clips for other comics, and when I watch it, I think to myself, this joke could have 30% more pop if you would just take out all of the, and then you guys know, and it's crazy because I think they're saying, well, it's crazy because they need their brain to catch up to the words that they need to say. So they add all those extra words and it has all that fluff and it just keeps inflating and moving those punchlines further and further away from each other. The other great piece of advice was the 3 ways to watch your sets. It's you watch the video with the audio, and then you go back and you listen to just the audio, and then you go back and you watch just the video with no audio. And those 3 things will help you build that set faster because you are you're isolating the 2 things that matter most. What you look, and especially the way you said it, it's what you look like, what you're saying, and how you say it. When those 3 things are harmonizing, that's when it really pops.
So what I love about what you just said is that was your summary of the book, but I've never said those words.
Oh.
And the other thing is, I've never said watch yourself with a bit sound off. That's you came up with that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I think I read it somewhere, but I don't know if it was in the menu. Okay, maybe it's not yours. Okay, but either way, I did find that to be a great piece of advice. Yeah,
yeah, I know. I mean, I wish I could take credit for that. It's really weird. You go, no, what I love about your book? You said watch with the body now. I'm like, no, I didn't. English comedians, we do like our comedians to look funny, even a funny outfit. And Americans, just got your 60-year-old white men in suits.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Nellie Glazer out there in a very tight dress looks fantastic on her, but I remember the days of Paula Poundstone and Roseanne Barr.
Yeah, no, but I'm just get sick to Malcolm in suit. We've got people like Harry Hill, who's the reason I started, big collars, stupidly big collars.
Yeah.
It's like a no outfit, then these big collars. That's his crown. Why has that man got stupid collars? Because he looks silly. Why? Because he's weird. So we visually weird. Tommy Cooper, look up these people.
Yeah.
Wore a dinner suit and a red fez Egyptian hat. A little ridiculous. Alexis Sale, overweight, bald, wore very tight suits that exaggerated his size. He was wearing a suit that was 4 sizes too small. So he's bulging out the buttons.
Yeah.
Emo Phillips is a hero of mine.
Yeah.
He was a character.
Sure.
Strange. But with regard to, we English comedians, we like to look funny as well as say funny. But Americans are very happy to just wear a normal suit, Seinfeld. You understand they're being funny.
Yeah.
So there's a cultural difference. We do like our comedians to look funny.
Yeah, I agree.
like winners.
Yeah, you have to figure out what it is that, you know, if you do jokes where you primarily win or lose, you have to figure out which one you are. And once you figure that out, you have to be able to dress accordingly to it. I figured out very fast that all of my jokes, I need to win. And anytime I lose in my jokes, it doesn't come off. I am the guy on stage that's constantly correcting my daughter. I'm the guy who's constantly correcting people. I'm the guy. And when I don't do it, when I get put out, I can do it, but it has to be late in the set. And it has to be, I have to preface it with, because I've been doing this joke and it's mostly a true story. It's about 85% true about me shitting my pants on stage. And, you know, it was a funny deal. And it you know, I kind of added some flavor into it just to make it a more interesting story.
You shit the pants on there.
Yeah. So,
How much money do you sell that?
yeah, not a lot. You know, it's very...
I'm saying some used underwear.
I have to preface it with, when I do that joke, I basically have to go out and I have to say, you've heard me talk about all of these things about, you know, like, oh, he's got such a great life and he travels and he's got a beautiful daughter. He's got all these things. But I am a man of the people. Do I have those moments that make me an everyman? I do. Now I'm going to tell you a story and it doesn't make me look good, but it needs to be said. And then I launch into it. If I just go into that story, they go, what the hell? This guy that we've looked at as a winner the whole time is now telling this story where he did this embarrassing thing. It doesn't translate.
You sit out.
And I've done that bit in the beginning of the set, and I get crickets for the rest of my set. You got to do it towards the end. I got to do it. It's got to be one of the last things that I do. And it's memorable and it's funny and it's got a big pop at the end. But if I do it too early, the crowd just goes, no, we
It's interesting. So I'm the exact opposite.
Really?
I lose early on to show I don't take myself seriously.
Sure.
And then I build up very quickly.
Yeah.
So then, presenting clever ideas, they don't go, who does this guy think he is with his clever ideas? Because I've already shown you that I can be the fool.
Yeah.
So is it I'm the exact opposite?
I don't know if you have a joke or anything that you do specifically to show what your character is and what people are going to watch for the next 45 minutes.
Well, I believe a good ending line doesn't just set up your persona, it sets up your style of comedy.
Yeah.
So you can achieve 2 in one go.
Sure.
You can show your mischievous and you can show your jokes technique. For as a newer comedian, for a good few years, actually, I would open with that cat and a sticky head joke. Mm-hmm. So that shows I'm mischievous.
Yeah.
And it shows that my jokes twisted at the end, misdirection.
Sure.
So you've got Emo Phillips. When Emo Phillips did the debut in London, which was the TV, he had they give him an hour with like 3 ad breaks. And he walked on stage in the old English theatre, his debut performance, and he walked on and went, it's great to be indoors. Right? So we think it's great to be in London, but we could, because it's visually the theatre in America, in London, you could see he's going to say generic opening, it's great to be in London. So his jokes twist, he's going to misdirect you. That's that twist within the last word.
Yeah.
Not just on it, within it.
Yeah.
It's great to be indoors, right? Now that goes, his jokes twist. Okay, you got to watch yourself. He's gonna wrong foot you. And he's just told you he's been wandering the streets all day.
Yeah.
Well, this persona is lot misfit, and style is misdirection. So my was counter-stereotype is persona is mischief, and style is misdirection. So I've gone on and I've let you know 2 things, and you might go, you're overthinking it. I'm not. What you're doing is you're planting in their mind immediately what you are. Because I've watched comedians for 20 minutes, and at the end of it, I still don't know who they are.
Somebody's told somebody a long time ago, you know what you should do? Get on stage, and the first thing you do is say, I know I look like XYZ, and every comic has done that. Brian Regan was the only one who I saw who really did it kind of flawlessly in the best way possible at his Red Rock special when he decided to not dye his hair after the pandemic, and it was gray. It was fully gray.
Right.
And he walked out, and his first words are, well, I better talk about this or you guys ain't gonna laugh at anything. It was he understood that it was such a difference from his first special, his look, to now, that if he didn't address it. And Josh Blue, funny guy, I opened for him in Minneapolis one night. He watched my set, and I do this bit about being a short guy, and I would always do it at the end. And and good on him. He saw me do my set, and then he came in the green room and said, "You need to move that short guy bit. That needs to be within like the first couple minutes of your set, because now what you're doing is you're telling the audience why it is that you're upset about these things, because you feel in your life you have been dealt a bad hand, and now this is why you're angry about everything else."
It's a backstory.
Yeah, and I was like, that is brilliant for it. The second I started doing that bit at the beginning of my set, it completely you started getting 20% more bigger pops.
You also, the MC bringing you on, if there is an MC, isn't tall, the audience don't know you're short, because I'm only 5'7".
Yeah.
And which I know is a dream for you. But I get to do all the time because I'm very confident on stage. They go, "I thought you were taller. I thought you were taller." But it's Bobby Mayer. Have you seen Bobby Mayer? Brilliant Canadian comedian. Brilliant. He's sort of scraggly beard and he hunches slightly. And he's about 6 foot, but he looks smaller because he's playing the kind of withered, like, oh. And so he's making himself smaller. And I make myself bigger because I'm full of energy and excitement. My point is, telling they're short early on is also important because they don't necessarily know you're short. But of course, his point is at the beginning, it sets up, that's backstory.
It's funny you say that, because I love having a host that is tall, that goes out in front of me, and then me having to adjust the microphone. And I always tell them sometimes, "Hey, do me a favor, keep it high," because it gives me that moment where I can adjust it and bring it down. And also, subsequently, it works the other way, because when I open for Michael Yo, I leave the microphone, because we do it shotgun style. We only do a 2-man show. I go out and do 25. He goes out and does 60. And we kind of figured it out one night when he riffed it. Oh, I need to leave the microphone short, because he goes out and immediately the first thing he does is loosens it and then pulls it way out, and it gets a huge laugh, right?
Yeah. So the weekend I was here at the Comedy Store, the weekend just gone, and Ian Coppinger is an Irish comedian. He was emceeing, brilliant MC, does 90% improv when he's emceeing, and he's 5'2".
Wow.
Yeah. And what he does after a tall comedian, and I presume he asks them to leave up, they leave the mic up high. He walks back on. So let's say he's emceeing, so they've only had him holding the mic. Then when he comes back on, and he starts miming, pretending he's talking to a mic, and he talks for about a minute, maybe 45 seconds, just miming, and they're all doing stitches because it would. And then he adjusts the microphone, slips down.
Yeah.
And as it slips down, he says something like, "Oh, I wish I could remember." He goes, "And that's the last time I go to that brothel," or something like that. I wish I could remember what he said, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Oh, thank God they got that off my chest." Sorry, I can't remember what the sentence he ended up. It was something dodgy. But then he goes, "Oh, thank God I got that off my chest," which is because no one heard it. But that 6 foot plus to 5'2" is a massive drop. I was in the Netherlands last month. In a space of 5 days, I saw 3 men that were either 6'11" to 7'1".
Wow.
Yeah. One of them's neck was really long, and he had, there was a good 2 inches of neck that shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
He was like the giraffe kind of portion.
Yeah.
But by the third 7-foot man, I didn't even turn my head.
No, sure.
There's 60 what's the average. If you're 5'11" in Holland, you're short.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's why I love when I go out with guys like Michael Yo, when his Asian crowd shows up. I feel like a giant amongst.
Oh, yeah. I went to Atlanta once, and I was in immigration, and everyone else was Mexican.
Yeah.
And I was like, so this is what it feels like to be tall.
Of course.
Yeah, I could get used to this.
You've been bopping around doing the master classes. Where can people find some of the classes? What can they sign up for? Just hit the website.
So I've got a master class coming up in July, but there's only 4 spaces left. But you can contact me on Instagram, Adam Bloom Comedy. This is the logo for the book, by the way. Fun Comedy
It's
Genius.
great. It's so funny. I love it. It's creative. Very. You came up with it.
Me.
You did.
Yeah.
It's great.
And my 16-year-old nephew did the graphics.
No way.
And my niece did illustration. My mum did a chapter from the audiobook. The whole family's involved.
That's great.
Adam Bloom Comedy. I do one every 2 months on Zoom.
Well, I appreciate the book and appreciate the time, man.
No, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Absolutely, man.